Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Voice of the Entrepreneur. Today I have a really special guest with us, Leonora Abreu, and she is a holistic counselor and a life coach, and a really special person because I've had the opportunity to spend some time with her, and she has some great insights that I'm just waiting to share with you guys as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. Leonora, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for having this interview with me.
Thank you for having me.
Your time. So Leonora, tell us a little bit about Leonora, who Leonora is, what you do, how do you do it?
I'm a holistic counselor, which means that I look at different areas of the self, which I mean, a whole person has 4 different areas, which is mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical. So I work with my clients by looking at these aspects and really making sure that they are nourished, that they're taken care of. If there's any blocks anywhere, we work to unblock those areas. And I feel that when a person has those areas in well-being and health, they really thrive and they really find their way in their life and what they want to do in their life and achieve their goals. I'm also a life coach, and it kind of goes hand in hand. I often use both. Life coaching and counseling. Counseling refers mostly to patterns and like the past, what we've been through and what we keep repeating, or certain emotions that are really strong that we've been carrying for a long time. Even trauma. I like to work with clients that have trauma. I really enjoy that because it's a very beautiful process. But that's all into the counseling. But sometimes people finish processing those things and they want to start planning for their future. They want to move forward. They want to plan their goals, and they need somebody to support them, empower them, achieve them, and look at the blocks that they have and how to move forward. So I do both. Sometimes clients come just for counseling. Sometimes they just want coaching. And sometimes we do both.
That's awesome. That's really neat work. And I know that counseling itself is such an important aspect of mental well-being. And now, I'm surrounded by more and more coaches, and I see the kind of work they do with people and how much it really benefits the people that do get coached. But having a counseling and a coaching background put together, that's definitely a super hit for sure in my eyes. So it sounds like, Leonora, you do this work. Obviously, it's a work of passion. This is something that you love doing. You have a lot of passion for. Tell us a little bit more about what passion really means for you related to the work that you do. And also, there's so many counselors out there. There's so many coaches out there as well. What do you think you bring to the table? What's your special skills that, makes you Leonora? And, why would somebody want to come and work with you on that front?
Okay. Well, first of all, to your first question, passion for me is a strong emotion where you feel like you want to do something so strongly that almost even the obstacles don't matter because it's just driving you to do it. Okay. And that's how I feel about what I do. I'm super passionate about helping people see new perspectives. I feel that a huge thing for everybody is how your perspective, how you look at things. And sometimes people are stuck in a problem because they're unable to see any other way. It literally just seems like there's no other solution. Right. And I'm so passionate about helping them see all the different angles, and they start to discover themselves. I really just help them see that and find that about themselves, and I'm passionate about seeing them grow and move forward and be like, and have those aha moments when they're like, oh my God, I never thought about that.
Right.
Wow.
Those aha moments, right? Those are amazing, right? Right.
And then the next time they come, it's like they're a little bit different, and then they're a little bit different every time. And I'm just like, yes, I really love that. It makes me so happy. What makes me or different than other counselors? I feel like everybody has something special. All counselors have different special things to offer. I feel that personally, there's something that I learned in college, right? Which is my counseling skills and my coaching skills. But there's another huge part of it, which is the school of life that prepped me up to be who I am and do what I do. Like Tony Robbins, he says that he got, he became a psychology of life, like without even going to university. So that's, school gives you some tools, but then the other tools are with your life experience. So, like many people, I had a really difficult childhood. I had an alcoholic stepfather. So I witnessed all the trauma that brought into my life and to my mother's life. My father wasn't around too much, but it wasn't because he didn't want to. He had his own things going on. And, I grew up seeing a certain kind of emotional abuse and things like that. So I realized at a really young age I had to, stay on top of things. I had to figure out a way to be happy in spite of what was happening. And also it made me observe people around me and why they do what they do. Then after, I migrated here and I came here with my family. They end up having to go back. I stayed by myself and, I got married. I went through really, really tough divorce. And it was hard. I've been a single mom for almost 7 years now. And just being through all of that. And also I experienced a chronic illness for 5 years. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I had, pain all over my body. I was so fatigued. I was a single mom. I was low income. I was just really struggling, and I was dealing with a lot of monsters from the past as well. And so all of that really made me look really deeply and start researching. I was like, I must not stay here. I must research. I must read. I must learn. I must go. I went to do different spiritual practices, yoga, meditation, different gurus. I study Buddhism. I study different teachers like Wayne Dyer, Marianne Williamson, lots of Tony Robbins. I'm a big fan. And with all of these things, plus my education, I was able to find a way to feel like I can get through it and I can use this to help other people. I did help myself a lot. I'm not feeling that pain anymore, and my energy's back, which makes me feel that if I was able to do that shift with everything I do, I can help other people also do that as well. Right. Yeah.
Incredible story. I think. Thank you so much for sharing. It has so much power. Our personal stories have so much power, and sometimes people don't give credit to that. And the other thing I was thinking about while you were sharing this with us is that when you look at somebody from the outside, it looks like they might have a perfect life.
Yeah.
But you don't know their story.
No.
And it's until we know their story, and it's until we can connect with their story, is when the real humanity of them appears, and that's when the connection happens. So I guess, my next question to you would be, having your story and having this powerful story that you have and the experiences that you've had in life, do you think that it makes you, I'm assuming it makes you a lot more compassionate with the people that you work with, but do you think it makes you more relatable as well? Do you think people relate with you because you've had pain with you, and when they come in here with their own pain, they come to you because they can relate?
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that because I have a huge amount of humility. Doesn't sound really humble to say that I have a huge amount of humility, but I do. Going through pain and going through darkness, it's a great teacher. I don't dismiss it. I feel that going through pain and experience that, it really helps us grow. And because of that, I feel that I'm able to connect deeper with people that are in pain, that are feeling broken, that are ill, that are going through trauma, divorce, parenting issues. Even with career issues, I changed my career a few times. I got fired from 25 jobs, I struggled a lot with that, and I can relate with so many different types of situations and people, and I feel I'm a very empathic person, so I feel my clients feel really connected somehow, and I'm really grateful for that. Yeah.
Right. I'm sure that, people can connect with stories, and especially when it comes from a place of counseling others. Being able to understand their pain, I think, would be a very critical component of being able to help somebody.
Yeah.
And how would you feel somebody else's pain if you haven't experienced your own pain?
Right.
If you haven't gone to the depths of your pain. So, just listening to that makes me really confident in the skills that you would bring to the table with anybody that would come to the table with you. Now, I don't know if this question would make perfect sense, but I do want to know, what would be the ideal client for you, Leonora? Who would be the person that walks in and you say, that's the ideal client, or is there no such thing?
Well, really the ideal client for me is somebody that's willing to work, and it's say, I'm here, I want to do the work, I'm ready. That's all I need. That's it. From there, we can take it anywhere, really. I'm really confident that when there's a will, there's a way.
Right.
So when there's somebody that's just ready, and they want to work, that's all it takes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think the willingness for sure to work and to dive deep into your own pain is something that's a prerequisite to counseling. Mm-hmm. Now, if somebody did come in with that kind of, ability and that kind of encouragement and the desire to do that, what's your process like? If you can, share a little bit about what your process is like, taking them from where they are to where they might want to go. It could be counseling or coaching. Share a little bit about your process.
Okay. Well, my process at the beginning, when somebody comes to me, I let him freely explore why are they sitting in front of me? Why are you here? What are you feeling? What is it that you want to see differently? What do you want to experience differently in your life? And by them sharing the story, I started to ask key questions that give me a sense of an overall picture of what's really happening. And when I'm doing that, I'm really intuitive, so I start to get a lot of intuition hits, and then that leads me to different questions. And once I have an overall idea of what's happening, then I might start to lead things in a way where I perceive that maybe this is a path to explore. When we do that, sometimes it turns out that what they thought it was a problem, it's not really their problem. It's something else. But they actually are able to see that.
Through a process of exploration.
Through a process of exploration. Once we have the aha moments and then the bit of exploration, we do set goals. We see where we are in the different areas, like I said, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically, where they are and where they want to be. And then we try to fill the gap for planning, setting goals, and I also use different techniques for different people, depending on what they're, some people they're not very spiritual, but they might need to take a little bit of meditation to connect with themselves. I teach a lot of my clients meditation. We do some meditations. We use a lot of visualizing. And different. I do somatic therapy as well, where we work with the body, because the body stores a lot of our trauma, a lot of our stresses, and it's completely separate. No, it's not separate. It's everything goes together. But there's the body needs to be healed, not only the mind. So sometimes we do some bodily exercises where the person starts to reclaim their body again and goes back into their body, because a lot of people are experiencing so much anxiety and they're almost like a little bit going out of their body. They're not even aware of what's happening in their body anymore. They don't pay attention. So we do some exercises to ground the person. And that helps a lot.
Right,
Yeah.
I'm sure. I see you holding a crystal in your hand. Can you tell us what that crystal is about?
I'm huge on crystals. This is a rose quartz. Okay. And it just connects me to the love energy in all beings and with myself. So for this interview, I just thought I'll hold one so then I'm more connected, more grounded. And sometimes I use crystals with my clients as well.
We all need more love energy. So that I am going to get. I love quartz for sure. I think it looks beautiful and it has great energy. So that's wonderful, Leonora.
Yes.
Being a counselor, you were a counselor, but you're also an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. You're someone that has decided that you want to take this passion of yours and pursue it to the ends of being an entrepreneur and going into business for yourself. Mm-hmm. Talk to us a little bit about what it's like to be an entrepreneur, a business owner that is in the business of helping others. Tell us a little bit about your challenges, your wins, your losses.
Okay. Well, I decided I wanted to have my own business. I always wanted to have my own business for a few years. But because I was going through so much, I felt like I couldn't necessarily, I didn't feel like I had in that moment the courage to do that. The courage, I didn't, it takes a lot of courage to say, I'm going to do something by myself, and I'm going to, be my own boss and make my money. Nobody's going to give me a paycheck. And I have to find my clients and etc. And I have to trust the universe that, this is what I'm meant to do. It's really all about trust. Mm-hmm. It's about just trusting that, you are meant to do something. And when you feel that within you and you're like, I must do it. Like you're talking about passion. When I feel it, when I'm helping somebody, when I'm helping, even when I was with friends, and I was able to tell them, I feel this is what's going on. I ask them a few questions and they'd be like, wow, thank you so much. I was like, this is what I need to do. That's it, for me. And so for me, I had to really, step into the dangerous zone where I was like, I'm going to jump in. I'm going to, even though all my money is going to go into the business, all my time is going to go into the business, I have to keep reading every day. I have to keep studying every day more things because I want to be great for my clients. So I do this every day. It's my 8-hour day for work is working on my business, reading more on how to help my clients, educating myself more. It never stops, Right. It really never stops. The learning never stops. And depending on the client, if certain clients have certain issues, I go and explore and read and research more about it. Mm-hmm. And I work on notes every day, for my clients and what I see, what I perceive there, and what exercises we can do the next time. Mm-hmm. So that's where all my time goes into. And on top of that, I have a child. So, it really took for me to say, okay, I have this little amount of money right now. I'm going to be barely tight. I'm not going to be able to do this and this and this and that. But I see in my future, this is going to be worth it for me.
This is going to pay off. Right.
Yeah, because I can't put my one, foot in one career and the other one in another career. That's not how it works for me. It might work for other people. Sure. But at this point for me, it's all, I have to do all of it. It's revolving around this. And, that's, and, I'm really, I want to do, I felt like I have to do it because I feel like I have so much to give. Right. It kills me to keep it to myself. I have so much love, so much caring, so much, I just want to help.
That's awesome. And I sense the energy from you as you're speaking about it, and I'm 100% with you on the fact that helping people is part of our DNA. Mm-hmm. It's part of your DNA, and that's something that you want to do freely, and of course make a living out of it. So it goes hand in hand. One thing for me is, I sit down with entrepreneurs. This is what I do in these interviews. Mm-hmm. I talk to them about what it is to be an entrepreneur. And the recurring question that keeps coming in my mind is why is it so important to do this on our own? Like, and I will ask you the same question. Why is it so important to be an entrepreneur and do it on our own? You could very well go to a counseling group, for example, or a company that does counseling, an association, and work with them. Do you think that your impact on the people that you work with, the positive impact, reduces because you're working with people or under somebody, or do you think that it doesn't matter? I mean, what's the drive behind going independent?
Well, I am a really independent person. I like to take my own decisions and, take my own lead. I'm a leader, naturally, and I feel that I cannot, I really, I have my own ideas. And although I respect everybody's ideas, the reason why I want to do my own practice is because there's a certain kind of freedom with it, Of course, there is certain ethics that I must keep as a counselor, but I have so much room to explore different therapies. I'm really alternative, so I explore so many different therapies with my clients, and I see what works, what doesn't work. I try. So if I work under somebody else, it would be specifically just, for example, if I was with the Battered Women Association, and I would be just seeing battered women. If I was doing, maybe there's another association that, those other kinds of people, but it's under their own protocol, right? And for me, I want to explore. I want to explore more. I want to learn more. I learn with my clients. My clients learn, I learn. And I just can't, I can even pioneer my own techniques, right?
Absolutely.
Without having to follow somebody else's instructions on what I need to do with my clients. And I really trust my intuition. I really trust what I feel, that I'm doing. Yeah. It took me a long time to trust myself, but now I'm finally there, and I'm just so grateful. I also see myself as an entrepreneur because I want to have, everybody wants to see themselves have a certain lifestyle. And for me, it's like I could see myself, I'm from Mexico, so I could see myself, maybe going away in the winter and doing some workshops down there. My mom is a counselor as well. So going down there and doing some workshops there and, having a vacation, maybe seeing some clients on Skype still, and then come back and do my thing here and, just pick my days when I can work, or just have a flexibility, just to.
Absolutely. I think the answer that you gave, you really connected the dots for me, which was great. And this is something that I really admire about you, is that, you have a skill to connect things together and make complex things simple. And I can just see that in our conversation here. So I can't imagine the kind of powerful impact you would be able to create for your clients because you have that ability. So great on you, Leonora. Now, I guess my last question to you would be, as an entrepreneur, as a counselor, as a coach, and an entrepreneur as well, there are people out there that are looking at you, that are watching this, and they're saying, I want to do something exactly the same as Leonora is doing. What advice would you have for people that are on the same journey, or maybe a few steps behind you, but want to get on there and want to continue their lives on the same path as you? But I want you to connect with them from not just the perspective of the entrepreneur, but also connecting through your story. People that did have a rough childhood, people that perhaps don't believe in their ability to serve others. What would you tell them to get up and go after this?
Well, I think the best piece of advice is just do it. Just start, Even when you feel that you are insecure, that you are feeling not good enough, that you don't trust what's going to happen, that you're fearful, just do it. I know it sounds easy or like, oh, okay, just do it, But really, sometimes to wait for the right time, right? Of course, it's a fine line. Some people are going through a lot of darkness, and they kind of need to work on themselves first, which I did. But when I was done working in myself in that area, and I felt a little bit better. Even though I didn't feel 100% safe or secure or confident, or I didn't even, I would shake because I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be good enough. When I started seeing clients again, because I stopped for a couple of years because I was dealing with, like I said, I was dealing with some really dark times with my family and a lot of loss and grieving. I needed to give myself that time. So sometimes, we need to see when is the time where we need to heal and retrieve and grow from that. And when is the time where, okay, I feel good enough, maybe not extremely good, not extremely confident, but I have the energy today, right? So as long as you're in a place where, things are kind of neutral, as long as they're not, even if they're not great, just start. Even when you're shaking, when you're anxious, just, like when I started seeing clients again, I was going to say, I have my heart beating so fast because I was like, what am I doing? Even though I went to school, I did everything. Right. But I wasn't there yet. I wasn't trusting myself yet. But I said, I'm not going to be able to do it ever if I don't start, even when I'm feeling crappy or insecure. I have to start. I would say that really, your life experience it's a big part of the helping field for counselors specifically, life coaches as well. You can have all the skills you want from school, but if you don't have a natural ability with people, and you don't have an intuition, you don't have an empathy, you don't know how to connect, or you haven't necessarily experienced a lot of things in your life, it could be really challenging. So I would say, if you have the experience, if you have a tough life experience, if you have a messy childhood, if you had an illness, divorce, whatever if you lost a loved one and you grieve, and that's great. That's one of it sounds weird, but it's one of the great things about the school of life. Like really you learn with pain and you grow with pain and you develop your empathy, and then you're able to relate to people. So if you want to be a counselor or a life coach and you want to go your own way, just realize that you might have more skills than you already think you do. By your own life experiences. It's not so much about the life experience, but what do you choose to do with your experience. It's a huge price to pay when we decide to stay where we are and not take the leap to where we want to be, because really at the end of the day, in your deathbed, when you're laying there and they ask you, what do you regret? What do you think you did differently? You would be like, I wanted to do this. I wanted to help more people. I wanted to have a passionate career. First of all, work on yourself a lot. Look at your darkness. Look at all the negative of it. Don't push it aside. Most people give advice to be positive, but there is a time and a place to be positive, and it's a time and a place to be dark, and really look at your monsters in the eyes, Once you do that, and you find a way to break through all that darkness, that's when you can start taking steps towards being a counselor, towards being a coach. So I would say just, after you work on yourself and you've done the work and you feel like you're ready to do it, but you don't know where to start, you're insecure, you're anxious, you're stressed, really, it really just takes doing one thing at a time. Focusing on doing every day a little step to move towards. It doesn't matter if it's the smallest step. You celebrate that you did.
So I guess the first step is really just do it. Like the Nike commercial says, right? You just gotta go out there and do it. Yeah.
Just do it. Yeah. Little steps. And sometimes it's like I said, 2 steps forward, 1 back sometimes. And then sometimes it's 3 and then 1 back, and then,
I think that's a really important point, Leonora, because when people take a step back, they feel like everything is finished, like it's a disaster if one step is taken back. Yeah. But I think that's very important to understand that you have taken 2 steps forward and 1 back. So net, you've moved forward. And that's really important to understand that, your progress is going to continue if you continue on the path. Exactly. But you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a really important piece, is to just go out there and do whatever you can. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to come out in ways that's eventually going to stack up into success. So exactly. I think your answer was great. I appreciate you saying that. And Leonora, I know that when we started this interview, we didn't introduce the little animal, the little girl that you have sitting here. So.
This is Nina. It's my rescue dog from Mexico. I rescue her, and we have a really special connection. Yes. She is a therapeutic dog as well. Some of my clients enjoy animals. Let her come in. She sits in their laps as well. It's a very grounding therapy for people that have experienced trauma, because animals are really naturally grounded and instinctive. So it helps us connect to that part of ourselves and go back to the basics, which sometimes we have to do.
The basics.
Yeah, and one only last thing I wanted to say to everybody is I just say be patient and be kind to yourself. That's a huge thing. Yes. Life is a process, and just trust the process.
Absolutely, that's words of wisdom. So I really appreciate it. Leonora, thank you so much for you and for both of you to come here and share this wonderful experience with me. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you progress in your journey.